This Nadco thing that we have been talking about, remember it was born out of maandamano, and KKK should never take it like it was a gift to us, or it was they were doing us a favor. It is not a favor that they are doing to us, and where we have gotten as members of parliament, tafadhali mjue ya kwamba tumefika pahali ya kwamba you are now our last point of defense. We tried it in all those sittings, and if you members of parliament crack, if you are not able to give a pushback, then we will have a serious problem, because Nadco was not a ceasefire process, and it was not a benevolent act or an act of mercy by the KKK government. Azimio called for maandamano after it was clear that KK had no intention of doing what the people wanted. They were certainly going against the wishes of the people. The cost of living has continued going up, and the KK also embarked on a process of undermining multi-party democracy. Parliament, without doubt, was held hostage, and it became an executive rubber stamp. As a result of which, we called for maandamano as Azimio. Lives were lost, the nation was sick, and this gave birth to the Nadco process that we have. And the bills that have been given to us are with us. I don't need to go through them. But this forum was very important for us because, as I said, parliamentarians, you must take very keen interest in the bills that are before us. Parliament is our last line of defense. Kenya has been through these processes before. I'm trying to be very loud so that the member of the county assembly can also hear. Kenya has gone through these processes before, where the government uses the law to perpetuate themselves to power. Remember, we have heard them saying that they would want to use the process that is before us to ensure that, or to try and get William Ruto a termless term in office. One other observation that we need to make, that Nadco has afforded IEBC an opportunity to do boundaries delimitation outside the constitution timeline that expired on the 24th in March 2024. But the question that we need to ask ourselves, and I can tell you, like senior counsel was saying here, wait for it, it is coming. How sure are you that this regime will not introduce amendments to violate constitutional timelines on the elections date? Colleague members of parliament, tafadhali nawaomba, umukienda kitanda kulala na hii watu ya KK, there is no other hope left for this country. The very true hope that is left is this widow of Nadco. Na Wakenya wale ambao wako na imani ya kwamba kuna jambo lolote linaweza fanyika after this, wanawaangalia. So don't lie to us that you are going for project. Those are stupid old stories. When you talk to Kenyans out there, they are suffering, and when they hear you saying some of these things, they wonder which umeagushwa kutoka which planet. Na ndio naona sisi watu ambao wanakaa karibu na mlima, because how is it that we had 32 members of parliament? In fact, in Azimio, it was Azimio, ODM, and the next largest parliamentary party was Jubilee. It is ODM, Jubilee, Wiper, DAP in that right. And we find ourselves that it is very difficult for us to even feature on programs because our members took off. I know that is why you forgot me on the program. We are not able to feature in Azimio. Na wale wengine wakisema they are shareholders there, everybody can see that they are actually also strangers in government, in that regime. So hatuko kwa serikali, na hapa pia tunafinywa, tunatoka nje. Lakini sio kwa ubaya, is because of bad manners by those people who are elected into parliament with a Jubilee ticket. And we have a whole region of Mount Kenya region that is not in government. By their own definition, unaweza angalia, they are actually inviting themselves to this Limuru thing, kwa sababu kule kumewaka joto, they have no stay. Na hapa pia tunajaribu kuona vile tutakaa. Kwa hivyo Friday, this is what has informed us and I want to tell you, what has informed us in the mountain is that our voice is lost. A block with almost 8 million votes is lost. And we meet on Friday, this Friday, at Limuru to do the Limuru 3. If you want to know where Limuru 1 was, it was there. There was Limuru 2, and we made some very fundamental decisions. Now let me say this. Sane is saying that we are on this thing. We are saying that our revolution has started. Hatuna matumaini kwa sababu this is a disaster regime that we have in place. We start our revolutionary path on Friday, and we are starting it. It is actually our homegrown way of maandamano. Then we have the audacity to believe that the KK regime is not committed to fulfilling any of the promises that we have done, including enactment of the bills that we have talked about here. We believe they are not committed to that. They have continued overtaxing the people despite the Nadco report. They have indicated that the issues of cost of living is their preserve, yet the cost of living has continued to go up. And despite demands by KK, they have no intention, let me repeat, despite our demands, KK has no intention of opening the server. I know you missed this. The judge who gave the orders, the temporary orders stopping the opening of the server, is the same judge who gave orders to Sabina in the night to stop us from naming Mwenje as a deputy minority leader. This is a big scheme. It's a big scheme, and we are missing it. And I can tell you, you are dealing with a horrible group of people. They are actually a disaster. They have continued killing all sectors. Agricultural sector, top of the list. Fake fertilizer, and you now have back Linturi. Hata nyinyi pia ni watu wa maajabu. Linturi is back to talk to us. Eddie Boyle, that guy is inviting himself to Limuru. G2G, wizi tupu. Sugar scandal, housing levy, wanasema ongeza kodi ya rent ya hasara ili waweze kupata pesa nyingi ya housing levy. Hata wenda wazimu iko ndani yake. Wale ambao wanaelewa mambo ya development, lad. That is also another scandal. Davivi, as I finish. Davivi, 100,000 Kenyans are being evicted. Why? Kwa sababu Kulei ati aliuzia Ruto chamba ambayo iko na title that was given to Kenyans 1971, and we have the original title with the government seal. It is there. Oh, Mwenyezi Mungu. Egerton Lad, 2,000 acres taken by Sudi. He was ejected from there by watu na michare. Ruaisi Walad imeenda. Disregard to court orders. Juzi tumeambiwa there is no vetting of IDs. We are now a borderless. I'm finishing. I'm just finishing. We have no vetting of IDs, so borderless. Goja 2027 mutachangaa wale walipiga kura wametoka wapi. They have been unable to fire hard of floods because it themselves is a disaster, and a disaster cannot declare another disaster a disaster. The Limuru 3 that we are having on Friday, I want to conclude, is organized by political party leaders who are also members of Azimio and those who are not members of Azimio. Over 31 political parties have come together in that region. And we are calling ourselves together because we have come to a conclusion that there is no hope. The only thing we can do is to push back mpaka wakati yake ifike. Tafadhali nyinyi pia msaidie sisi. Shikilieni akina Sifuna. Don't allow these guys to collapse. They have collapsed everything and they are not going to help anything. If you have any iota of hope, wachana na hiyo. Tuombe Mwenyezi Mungu hii miaka 3 ikuiche kama jana. We throw them out. But we have to be very careful. Because they are also working kufanya hayo mambo yote. So I am saying we are going to be there. There are those leaders from our region who are also feeling, na wengine wanafanya biashara na si baya, lakini tafadhali wachana na hiyo biashara kidogo, kuja tuungane pale. Tomorrow we have a meeting of leaders who are saying have not been invited in Mount Kenya region, and we are telling them there is nothing. We are not going to say that there is a presidential candidate in Mount Kenya. Sio shida yetu. Shida yetu ni mambo ambayo tumesukumwa naye. How can we be able to push back? Na sio Mount Kenya, these are problems that are across the nation. We expect that after Friday, we'll be able to do these movements across the country. Jamani, we have a disaster in power. If you are not careful, they will make you a disaster. Your Excellency, 10 a.m. tomorrow. 10 a.m. Your Excellency, SKM, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. Karibu sana. Thank you so much.